Hello everyone, we're here today to talk about the MATESOL program, our experience at St. Mike's and our life in Vermont. So could you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi everyone. My name is Wimengala Francois and I am a Fulbright student from Burkina Faso, West Africa. I have just completed my master's in TESOL, that is teaching English to speakers of other languages, from the education department here at St. Michael's College.
Yeah, my name is Umar Musa Jigo. I'm from Senegal. I'm also here as a Fulbright scholar. And I joined the MATESOL program in the fall of 2021. And I have been teaching English as a foreign language for a couple of years in Senegal. All right, so our first question would be, why did you decide to join the MATESOL program at St. Mike's?
Wow, joining the MATESOL program here at St. Mike's was for me like a life plan, a goal, life goal, because I completed a bachelor's degree in Burkina Faso years ago, before hearing about a university that gives an opportunity for students to have a master's in education. So having this BA, I started teaching as a part-time English teacher in middle school and high schools back home. So getting the chance to come at St. Michael's College so that I could really learn about the field, because what I was learning is mostly like English major, not to be a teacher as such.
Okay.
So hearing about this master's program here at St. Michael's College that really trains you to be a teacher, an instructor, and an educator gave me the chance to say, okay, I'm getting the chance to come here at St. Mike. So that's why I've decided to come here in Vermont.
Exactly. For me, one of the biggest reasons why I chose St. Mike's and the MATESOL program here was I applied for the Fulbright first program, and then I also got the chance to talk to a Fulbright alumnus from Senegal. And he really told me good things about the MATESOL program and being one of the first biggest programs in the US, and also about the tremendous work that the teachers were doing at the department. And as a lifelong learner, I just wanted to go and refine my teaching philosophies and also get more expertise in the field of English language teaching and TESOL, mainly TESOL. So that's the main reason why I chose it. But also when they said that the St. Mike's was a private college, I also knew that I would benefit from learning in a very safe environment, you know, which is conducive to collaborative learning and being also close to the teachers. So that was the main reason why I chose the MATESOL program at St. Mike's.
Oh yeah, and building on what you were saying, I remember when I first told some of my Fulbrighter friends from Burkina Faso, because we are quite like free students from Burkina Faso, all Fulbrighters, and the other ones are in public universities. I'm not going to mention the names, but when they first heard that I was coming to a private university, they were like, oh, a private university, you might feel alone there, you might be not like you won't find a larger community, as most of the time Fulbrighters create communities in different colleges and universities where they are. So I was also worried about that. I was like, oh, will I really feel alone and everything? But to be honest, when I started attending St. Mike's, less than 2 months following that, when I started sharing Facebook and WhatsApp stories about my experience in life here at St. Mike's and here in Vermont, they started being jealous.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they were wondering, oh, this guy went to a private university, but it seems like he's enjoying life more than we do. So that's when I realized how impactful and how important St. Michael's College has been building me so far until I completed my degree.
Yeah. And one of the things that I wanted to add was the support that you receive even before you come to the college. Because as you go through the Fulbright program, once you accept it, now the college was in charge of doing everything for you to accommodate. So they did everything for us to find housing and everything. Our immersion was made really easy.
Perfect. Yeah. We can't really complain. And even not less than a week ago, I was talking to coming Fulbrighters who are having serious issues about housing. And when they asked me to share my experience, I said, my experience, I'm not sure is going to be like yours, but even before coming here, our academic advisor, he had already made things easier for us.
Absolutely.
We didn't have to go online, look for how to a rental agency or something like that to rent for house. Our advisor made things easier for us. So this was first step. I knew I was coming to St. Mike's and my life was going to be much easier than most of our Fulbrighters, because many things were taken care of by our advisor and people I didn't even met before coming to the US.
Absolutely.
So this is something that really impacted my life at St. Michael's College.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So talking about the MATESOL program at St. Mike's, what are your biggest takeaways from it?
My biggest takeaways, wow. If only I could list them. I'm sure I will have maybe 10 pages because I am so satisfied about everything I've been taking, because I was teaching first before coming here to the US. So anytime I was in my class, in the classroom, in different courses with my professors, I would always connect what we were doing with my past learning experience and teaching experience. So you see, that is, for instance, I took a course of oral skills. And oral skills, coming from an EFL context, is one of the most challenging skills to have back home there.
Right.
Because our education was mostly, I would say, because it continues so far, grammar focused, and sometimes teacher-centered. Yes, because people feel like students can't really make it conversationally and then communicatively in the classroom. So it's easier to just write down rules where they have to learn. And then, so my biggest takeaways was first to break with this tradition. I didn't know there was better ways to learn apart from grammar-centered, teacher-centered, and then delivering courses to students. So my biggest takeaway is about that first.
Okay.
And the different courses, even designing a curriculum. Something funny is that before taking this program, I didn't really know the great difference between a syllabus and a curriculum. So the first time I saw curriculum and syllabus design as the name of one course, I was like, what are these people talking about? Yes, but with time I realized that they are different things.
Absolutely.
So these are kind of some takeaways about but I can still be talking until tomorrow.
Absolutely. My 3 favorite courses from the program and that going to have a positive impact on my career as a professional teacher are the curriculum and syllabus design, as you said, teaching oral skills, and computer-assisted language learning, even though I really loved all the other courses. For example, you mentioned the curriculum and syllabus design course.
Yes.
And for that one also, the final project was really interesting because it gave us the chance also to collaborate with local TESOL institutions, and also having some experience in designing curriculum. This was my first time designing a curriculum, and not only as part from the right from the beginning, it was just a project, a class project for the course, but throughout the project, I was really learning about the process of designing a curriculum, like going through the needs analysis, the environment analysis, but mostly collaborating with stakeholders and professionals in the field, and also getting out of the classroom environment, and also kind of engaging in community building was something that really impacted my experience in designing a curriculum. And also as you said, the teaching oral skills class also, because I also taught English as a foreign language, and the approach that I used to use was the traditional listening instruction most of the time, and there is less focus on teaching pronunciation. So after taking that class, in hindsight, I can say that maybe if I could go back in the time and change some types of approaches that I used to use in the past, because that gave me a kind of clear-cut, a way of teaching oral skills in a class. Mostly because most of the classes are teacher-centered. But if you then try to focus on a student-centered approach, using some kind of metacognitive approaches, so that really I found really interesting. And the final one, as I said, was the computer-assisted language learning course, which also gave us the opportunity to explore a range of online resources. But also the final project was building a portfolio, I think. Building a portfolio. So what was your experience?
First, before tackling the issue of building portfolio, you said that when you were taking different courses, sometimes you felt like going back in the past and then correct the way you were doing things. But what I like about St. Mike's also and our different program is that even before we think about traveling back home, they even give us opportunities to practice through our different online tutorings. You see, for all the different courses, I have been working with students from different nationalities. I first worked with someone from Ukraine, and then someone from Ethiopia, and then someone from China. And recently, I was working with a lady from Spain. You see, so we're giving them online teaching. So what we are learning in the classroom, we get the chance to practice it in the classroom. And this is called experiential learning. So we get the chance to learn by doing, as we call it. So this is something that really impacted me a lot. And then I always felt like I was doing something useful. And then I was always referring back to my students as well. Another takeaway is that about textbooks, when I was teaching in the past, I used to teach without any textbook at all. Though I was a beginning teacher, you see. So now with our different courses, I saw how important textbooks are in the classroom. I should consider them, but also think about always adapting them to my students. Don't just take a textbook and then impose it on students. Adapt it to their needs, to their lacks, and then to their wants, as we saw during our course of curriculum design.
Absolutely.
And as you mentioned, the course of call as well. Please, can you remind me of your question?
What was your experience working on that final project for the call?
Final project for the call. Wow, a lot. First, I think I can brag about having 2 portfolios right now. Because I have 1 portfolio for the course of call, and I also have my final portfolio for the MATESOL like education portfolio. And that experience, first I even Google sites, I wasn't really familiar to that end. By the way, thank you, because you were really knowledgeable about some of those online tools. But personally, I hadn't heard about Google site, something like that in the past. So when our teacher of call said, okay, you are going to design a portfolio, which will learn you, the process will learn you, and teach you, like self-teaching yourself about how to design your final portfolio.
Absolutely.
So I really like the way I had to go through the site itself. Sometimes you have to go like on YouTube and then see how you can design things yourself, and then learn how to find ways.
Okay.
Yeah. For instance, if I don't know how to build a portfolio,
Absolutely.
something I like is that our teachers always encourage us to go and then self-explore things ourselves, and then whenever you have questions, they are always available for us.
Absolutely.
So learning about how to build a portfolio in the call class, it helped me build my final portfolio. So yeah.
And also, if you have a look at how important it is nowadays to incorporate technology in the classroom, right?
Yeah.
And even though the class was asynchronous, like 100% maybe, but it was also self-paced, which gave us the opportunity, to self-explore resources and to share online.
Yes.
And something that I really liked about the MATESOL program is the use of Canvas. Which also is a kind of hybrid, approach of teaching.
Yes.
And I really loved the weekly discussions we had.
Oh, yes.
And also the burning questions.
The burning questions.
Yeah, having the opportunity to ask questions, to read, and then to raise some burning questions that were not only addressed online through the online discussions, but also in class.
Yes.
Which was something really, you give and take. It's a kind of give and take.
Yes.
From it. So
yes, and as we say, if you teach students how to ask questions, you are indirectly teaching them how to respond to that and how to learn better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because asking a question is something that is not easy. It's not something it's not taken for granted. Because knowing how to ask a question, suppose like cognitive skills, and then a reflection about what you have been reading. Yes. And by the way, during the portfolio, something I really like is that we learned I had to design my own YouTube channel.
Yeah, okay.
And then upload videos there, and then give different links to people to redirect them to my portfolio and everything like that. And also the recording. You remember after we finished designing the portfolio, our teacher asked us, please, suppose someone just log into your portfolio and then give them a tutorial on how to browse through your portfolio. And then I had to do like a digital recording of myself explaining to people, taking them through the different step by step. So this is something I really liked about the call class and design our portfolio.
And I wanted to come back to the online tutorings you mentioned.
Yeah.
I really think that it was a good way of kind of reconciling the dichotomy between theory and practice, because we had some good courses like in teaching oral skills and even second language acquisition, right?
Yeah.
And then it was a wonderful opportunity for us to implement what we learned, and at the same time also kind of volunteering and helping these immigrant people and new Americans, because at the same time we were teaching English, but also trying to put into practice what we learned from those courses. And I really loved the experience because it was a great way for me to have some kind of practice at the same time, but reflective practice, because you teach and then you benefit from the feedback from your teacher, and at the same time you can just go back and refine your classes. And that was a big takeaway for me.
A really big one.
So maybe the next question can be, what are your biggest memories living on campus, taking the MATESOL course, but mostly living in Vermont?
Mostly living in Vermont. Wow. My biggest memories, there are so many, but I will just first mention my biggest memory started right on my first day here at St. Mike. I remember I arrived at the airport at like 11 p.m. And then the person that welcomed me, my director of international students, took me around so that we could find something to eat. And that day we struggled to have a restaurant, open a restaurant so that we could get food. And that night, my director cooked for me. Can you imagine? You travel for the first time, right, in the US, on a campus where your director, like, cooks for you. So this is something I will never forget. When I saw that, I said, oh, these people have been making things so easier for us, even before we arrived here in the US. Absolutely. And when we arrived, again, here is my director doing something, a favor like that to me. So this is something that really impacted me. And something else is that we were always given opportunities for interaction.
Absolutely.
People say it's a small college. No, St. Mike is small maybe by size, but in terms of knowledge, opportunities, and interaction.
Human resources.
Human resources, people are so supportive of each other. So St. Mike, in terms of size, is much bigger than its actual size, physical size we can see.
Absolutely.
So apart from that is our different trips. My professors, can you imagine, back home, I didn't really know most of my professors where they live, but here I know many of my professors' homes where they live, and then they organize even trips with us. Most of my biggest memories, and I even have like a media on my laptop. I have a folder, if only my journey at St. Mike's.
You're documenting.
Yeah, I'm documenting. I have videos, I have photos, speech, everything. So my memories are a lot, and these are some.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, one thing that really caught my attention when we came was our relationship with our professors, because we were not just treated like students in the class, but we were mostly they treated us like their own colleagues, because we were invited to dinners, and also I really loved, the cultural awareness building, because we were invited to many cultural events, right? So we were invited to Thanksgiving, to Professor Ben White's house twice, and then socializing with those people that what the culture is back home, and also we had the chance to also go for apple picking twice.
Apple picking,
campfire with people, getting to meet, so many people around. And I think that aspect of cultural awareness is really important as a Fulbright scholar, because as they said, the Fulbright program is the flagship of mutual understanding between the people of the United States and people of other countries. So being able to get out of your comfort zone, as they say, and exploring, new things in the area in Vermont, going hiking in Stowe, these are wonderful memories for me.
We can never forget.
And as you said, also it's good to document, because as an international student, you always have the chance to visit so many places. But through documenting, if you document your journey, this can be something that you can share also with other people who are planning maybe to join the program, or maybe to join the college.
To be honest, if I have someone, and even my friends who have to come back for the Fulbright in the future, if they were given the choice, where would you like to go? I would tell them without any hesitation, come at St. Mike's. Come at St. Mike's, I would tell them, because St. Mike's is not only a university that will build your skills, everything about only knowledge, but as a human being, as a person. And something I really mentioned is that even on the campus here, before coming, when I saw that Vermont was 96% like predominantly white, I was a little bit scared. I was like, oh, I'm black coming from, But when I arrived, I noticed that it was something completely different.
People are very nice.
People are very nice,
and very social.
Very social.
I really like that.
I never really felt like, I was being looked down or looked over because of how I look. Not at all. So I will really invite everyone to come here at St. Mike's, because it's a wonderful program with wonderful people. You will be learning by many hours ways, by many different ways.
Absolutely. My final message would be for people, professionals, seasoned teachers, or students who are planning to become teachers in the future. I really invite you to join the MATESOL program, because it's going to be a life-changing experience for you. Sure. But also all the courses align with your professional goals. And in hindsight, we can just talk about how great this program was for us. So we invite everybody to join the MATESOL program at St. Michael's College.
Thank you. It's a wonderful program.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.